So welcome everyone to our second talk, our second lecture in our new lecture cycle, Skeptical Tuesdays. This time we invited the Aust family, Norbert and Susanne, who will tell us about their project and the project of the German Skeptics, Informationsnetzwerk Homöopathie, which deals with exact strategies on how to inform the public about homeopathy and what it really does and what it really does not do. So thank you for coming. I would just like to remind you that everything that we do depends on your donations and on your support. So please go to our website and see how you can support us and donate so we can bring more amazing speakers like this to Prague. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, my Czech is somewhat limited. I know pivo, I know dobro ráno, and I know podvosek, and it is hardly adequate to talk about this topic, so I have to stick to English. And second, I will not talk too much about the details of homeopathy. I think most of you will be familiar that homeopathy is not what it's on the nameplate. It's not medicine. In this case, it's sugar with very, very little table salt, if any, in there. I want to talk to you about what we as German skeptics do about homeopathy in the German health medical system. So, right from the beginning, it should work. Here we are. This is Fryeburg. It cannot compete with your beautiful Prague, but still it's a nice city. And it's a very important city in the history of medicine. Let's say in 1525, a certain Theophrastus Bombast von Hohenheim, you might better know him by the name of Paracelsus, started his quarrel with the old-time medicine and had some discussion with the professors of the newly found Fryeburg University. In 1999, German Cochrane was established there, the gatekeepers of evidence-based medicine. And in 2016, Information Network Homöopathie, which is the organization we belong to, had its first convent there, had its first meeting there. So, what is all this about? Let's go back in time, not so very much in time, go back to 2015 and have a look at what homeopathy was at that time in Germany. It has the look and the feel of a real medical therapeutic system. You have seen the package of the pills. It looks like really no woo, but it looks like real medicine. And homeopathy is taught at university level, at least on some universities, and is deployed, and was deployed on university hospitals in Vienna, in Heidelberg, and in Munich, and others. And the pharmacopoeia, the recipes of homeopathy, are a legal document, just like the pharmacopoeia of normal medicine is a legal document with all the signs that it's issued, and it's almost a law. Preparations, homeopathic preparations, I wouldn't want to call them remedies, it's just homeopathic preparations are sold in pharmacies only. They are not to be sold in sweet stores and something like that. And although all these remedies are exempt from any proof of effectiveness. The homeopathy is practiced by medical doctors as well as laymen. And doctors may gain a special recognition by their chambers as homeopath. They have to do training courses and they have to do some kind of fake exam, and afterwards they can call themselves homeopaths and can put that on the nameplate and on the sign indicating where their practice are. In certain conditions, homeopathy is covered by the general health insurance system. And in Germany, it has a kind of a Robin Hood appeal. the true and upright homeopathy against ugly and bad big pharma, holding upright the benefit for human mankind, while the others are only fighting for profit and for other gains, and of course from moral, very despisable position. There are three major associations in Germany. Of course, there are a whole lot more, but the three major ones, and one of them is called after a former president of Germany, the Veronika and Karl Carstens Stiftung, which indicates some kind of reputation. So, and homeopathy in 2015 was gaining popularity, sales was increasing, and so on. It was a very bad situation. The critics of homeopathy had, well, another point of view. In 2015, someone posted on Facebook or in a discussion forum, "Forget about homeopathy, the war is over, they have won. We skeptics should better skip homeopathy and return to something where we can be more successful, maybe. Just forget about homeopathy." This raised, of course, a lot of discussions. But in the end, if you think about it, the man was right somehow. We skeptics, we were operating independent from each other. We did lectures and presentations. We published an occasional book. We operated blogs. We joined discussion groups on the internet. Well, some wrote reviews on Amazon on books. Many were loosely connected under the roof of the German Skeptic Society, the GWUP. Whoever invented that name never thought about how to pronounce it in English. And we mostly reached individuals of our same persuasion. That is, we remained in our own bubble. And it was nice to do presentations there because you always got good sympathy, but it didn't bring us any further. But we had to acknowledge homeopathy is gaining ground in spite of all our efforts that we spend on that. So the basic idea was, we bloggers of homeopathy against homeopathy may be few, but if we can decide and instead of fighting individual battles, that we join forces and focus on certain topics, well, maybe we can gain some impact. And we decided to have a startup meeting at Fryeburg in Germany, southern part of Germany. And if we're lucky, I thought we will have a dozen or so enthusiasts who will join us. And this was about 2/3 of the meeting that we had together, with pharmacists, doctors, professors from Austria, from Germany, and I think someone from Switzerland was with us as well. And we met in Freiburg just about 4 years ago. And what we did? We did some workshopping and applied a kind of problem-solving method that I'm used to from industry usage. Just do not argue your opinion to agree upon action. You do not have to be 100% of the same persuasion. It's just about you should aim at the same direction. So do not spend your time and your effort in arguing and just about the last 9% or 5% where we disagree. Important is that we agree upon action, and the first thing is agree upon how we want the world to be, and then find out and analyze why the world is different of what we want it to be. Well, you see, we had a lot of cards there filled out. Then we clustered them into 4 different groups, like politics, like healers, like media, and so on. And then we formed working groups that thought about and produced ideas of how the situation in this special topic could be improved. And we analyzed it, and we decided on follow-up, and presented the results to the audience and decided on what to do. And I will present to you some of the outcomes of that. And afterwards, of course, have some Italian food and red wine, which is very important for team building. In fact, we started in a brewery the day before, and this is important for team building as well. So the targets. We came up that the short term, not to be any specific what short term actually might be. In short term, we wanted to make people aware what homeopathy really is all about. And we had quite a number of ideas on how to proceed with that. And I will show you some of that, what we set into action. Further down the line, we thought homeopathy should be removed from university and medical education, but we had no idea on how to achieve that. And very, very far off, right above the horizon, or even with part of it a little bit below it, remove homeopathy from the medical system, that is, from the drug regulations. And this seemed completely out of range for us. We would have been happy with the first, with the first point. So all this we brought together with the Fryeburg Declaration on Homeopathy, which, where we put all our targets and where we put our reasons. And this is kind of our constitution, what we work and how we work. And it is signed by more than 2,200 people as yet, and counting. What was very important for our success was that we got immediate media coverage. It is important for an action like that, and this Badische Zeitung is the local newspaper that covers the area of Freiburg and around, and they spend a whole page in a Saturday's edition for our meeting, and had an interview with me, and there was another paragraph with some other aspects of our meeting, and this proved very, very lucky that we had this coverage immediately, because the Frankfurter Allgemeine Zeitung, which is one of the most respected newspapers in Germany, picked it up, I guess, from the Badische Zeitung, and asked what is it all about, and brought some report on that. And it took some time, and we worked our way through the media, and even Der Spiegel. Well, it's one of the best news magazines in Germany, and if not the leading news magazines of the German, interviewed Wolfgang Fahler, one of our participants, on our foundation and on our targets and on how our schemes, what we want to do. And of course, our friends reacted to that as well. This is the German Central Association of Homeopathic Doctors, and it's quite nice that once they heard of us, they put a young, a young medical assistant in the pose of prayer, maybe for us to get over. The Homeopathy Critics plan a campaign for more belief in school medicine, and well, that is their first reaction. Then we have Professor Harald Wallach. He is one of the foremost esoteric professors in Germany. He said something about the reinvention of the wheel doesn't make it rounder, and thought this is just a new turn for critics of homeopathy to come up. And there were letters to the editor of Badische Zeitung. This one here is from Jens Wurster. Jens Wurster is a homeopathic doctor practicing in the Clinica Santa Croce in Switzerland, treating patients with cancer by homeopathy, and he claims not by homeopathy alone, but well, he is much in favor of homeopathy, and he criticized the idea of criticizing homeopathy. Well, we started our information campaign with websites. This is our general website dedicated for the general public, and due to the action of Udo Endroscheid, one of our members, one of our most active members, I'd say, it is in English as well. And you see the topics, frequently asked questions, where we try to answer questions that are very often in common regarding homeopathy, briefly explained, and our points of view, where we point out our standpoints on the claims of homeopathy and what all the studies may mean and so on. We have another website, and you will hear more detailed about it. It's Susanne, and it's dedicated for families with young kids, but this will come out here later on in this presentation. And we have Homeopathia. This is the other end. This is what we want to have for a scientific basis. If you do research on homeopathy, you may refer to this web page where we give all the information with all sources and source material and so on. And it is very, very thorough work. This article here about the different brands and the different types of homeopathy, if you print out, it's about 70 pages long. So it's a very thorough work on how homeopathy looks like in the daily life. And we, of course, we have corresponding groups on Twitter and Facebook. We offer brochures, leaflets. This is a leaflet for doctors with the explanation why there is no homeopathy in my office, in my practice. And this is even published in Italian. We have a brochure. This was from the German DHU, Deutsche Homöopathie Union, which is the major manufacturer of homeopathics in Germany, and they had answers on critical questions, and I said, okay, we just reviewed that and put all what we found in this brochure. We offer and we publish occasionally articles in medical journals and medical magazines aimed at doctors in quite a high level. This we do quite often. And the other thing is do a lot of good work, but talk about it. Make people know it, and make people aware that we exist, and make them curious. We had a campaign with billboards and posters in major cities of Germany. Occasionally you will find this guy here. He shows up at the March of Science occasionally. We call him Grumpy Dog. His sign is here, homeopathy is the air guitar of medicine. And well, it's quite funny. We have a challenge going on. That is, we offer a prize money of 50,000 euro for the first one who is able to recognize the remedies that are in 12 blinded bottles. He can select the remedies by himself, which one, and we do the blinding where in which bottle is what, and he just has to recognize. We had one applicant by now, and he failed to solve the problem. And of course, we do organize sometimes these overdose actions. This one was in Kiel in the northern part of Germany. One thing is that. The other thing where we were very, very lucky is we have quite a bunch of very interesting people with us. First of all, Nathalie Grams. We were happy to have her with us and that she puts the face to the outside. She is our leader, our boss, how you want to call it. She's interesting because she was an active homeopath within practice in Heidelberg, Germany. And she wanted to write a book and defend homeopathy against the critics, and it came out the other way around. And this is the book, Homeopathy Reconsidered, and this is available in English too. And she found out that homeopathy can't be part of medicine, at least not in the mode that the homeopathics want to do it all the time. It has to be reconsidered. And she closed her practice down and stopped to be acting homeopath. And this was very interesting for the media, and she got very big media coverage, and so did we. This is from the Stern, which is a big magazine in Germany. I couldn't lie to my patients. She does presentations. She was very often in the media, in TV and so on. And I guess there is no week up to now where she is not somewhere to be found in the public. and with presenting her ideas about homeopathy, and now on other parts of medicine, of pseudo-medicine as well. I think her last book was only published the week before, and well, I didn't adapt my slides to that. I would have posted in here. Another very interesting person is this chap here. It's Christian Lübbers. He's a medical doctor for ear, nose, throat problems, and he got some recognition because he posted that he found globally the little sugar pills in the ear of a child that was presented to him. He tweeted that, and well, he got a lot of response to that, and he is a master of putting a lot of meaning in only a few words. Quite the opposite of myself. Here he ushers Twitter pearls one after the other, and you see this one here. Homeopathy is the second most popular form of medicine, just like a disc is the second most popular form of the earth. Or this one here, how does homeopathy work? You see in different languages, seems like placebo effect. Only the German says by shaking and diluting, the information is transferred to the water, and the globally impregnated with that water activate self-healing. Just indicating the position of homeopathy in Germany in contrary to other countries. Or this one here, does homeopathy work? No, but in yellow. Or according to current evidence, 7 out of 10 globally are as dispensable as the other 3. Oh. It's great. He can do a lot with these things. And when I did this slide, I just had to stop, because whenever I thought I was finished with the slide, he brought out a new one. And I said, okay, sometimes I have to stop. I have to finish this presentation. And he invented what we call the team globocalypse, which is if you are willing to discuss homeopathy from a skeptic point of view, you may indicate that by kind of a green or blue or yellow bracelet out of rubber. And he had it out. You could have it for free, but you have to provide a photograph that it is seen. And you see many people are actually dealing with that. Of course, even members of the German parliament were seen wearing this bracelet. And of course, sometimes I'm not convinced if all is true. Looks like some may look like a little fake, but still, it's quite a good movement. This is Iris 100 Mark, and this is her pharmacy. And this is the first pharmacy in Germany who announced to be free of homeopathics. She banned it from her shelves, so that it's not on the shelf anymore, which is quite common in Germany. We were in a pharmacy here in Prague this morning, and we see there was no homeopathy on the shelves there, so it may be different here in Czechia. But in Germany, almost all the pharmacies display homeopathic preparations on their shelves, and she received a lot of hate mail and a lot of hate mail for her to abandon homeopathy from her pharmacy, especially from her colleagues. And last, we have a chap who is quite handy with doing sketches, and he is going by a pseudonym of St. Johann, and here is a graph from one of my articles about research from Boiron, the leading manufacturer of homeopathics in France. You see, they put away all the paperwork, and just the few pages that are in favor of homeopathy, they present to the public. The other is burned. Or this one is for an article that is to be shown in the Skeptics, which is the magazine of the German Skeptics. It's about a remedy called Zappelin. Zappelin, zappeln, to fidget around, is considered a homeopathic remedy against ADHS, against zappeln, against fidgeting, to reduce the children to be more calm. And you know, the Zeppelin was a kind of thing that flew in the air. And you see, the one guy said, tip failure, wrong spelling, because it's Zeppelin. And the other say, no, wrong thinking. And he has others here. This one is counting facts and facts and facts, and the other says, ja, aber, yes, but. And this is the position as a skeptic with facts you find yourself in quite regularly. Or this one here about the short-lived memory of water, which is often claimed to be the way of action. Homeopathy works. So we do a lot to work on public awareness about homeopathy. We join discussions on the internet, and we're using Facebook to organize, look here, there's a discussion going on, join it, bring in our arguments. We write comments on newspapers and on pro-homeopathic articles. We write letters to the editors. We are holding lectures and presentations, and we issue open letters to our political organizations, to parties, to members of parliament. This one here was one to the German Minister of Health regarding the coverage of homeopathy in the general health insurance. This one was to all the European delegates in the European Parliament to decide about the drug recommendations that was due middle of 2019. And recently, in September, October, November last year, there was a big stir because the Green Party of Germany, they are somewhat in a serious problem. On the one side, they argue about climate change and depend on science, and on the other side, they favor alternative medicine, in fact, homeopathy, and disregard science. So there was a young man, Tim Demisch, who put the proposal that this assembly to take place in November should discuss and review their position to science and their position to homeopathy. And here he is thanking us for that we had reviewed his proposal so that the facts may be right. And this is a scientific assessment of this proposal, and now the discussion goes to and fro between us and this body of science for homeopathy, and it will be continued. So we gain a lot. We do a lot of things, do a lot of different things. We are not so many people, but for the few people that we are, this is a lot to do. Now, results. Germany still is the stronghold of homeopathy in Europe. We must say that. It's still. But this is the statistics of the sales, of the annual sales of homeopathics. You have it once in million euros. This is the blue line. And on the other scale is the packages, the number of packages sold. This is the red line. And of course, I know what a post hoc ergo propter hoc fallacy is. But still, here we are found it. And it looks nice, doesn't it? The times are changing for homeopathy. We have reached big politicians. Karl Lauterbach is the health expert of the Social Democratic Party, and he is discussing that health insurance should not cover homeopathy. Spiegel TV, which is the branch of the online branch of television of the Spiegel, they were with me at home, and here I celebrate how homeopathics are produced. And this was broadcast on the public television. Here, the Tagesschau, which is from the public television as well. It's the best and it's the oldest news channel in Germany. They bring a fact check of if homeopathy is alternative medicine or quackery. They came out with quackery. This would be unheard of a couple of years ago. The Medical University in Vienna stopped their homeopathic outpatient station and fired the Professor Frass, who was in charge of it. University clinic in Munich, von Haunersches Kinderspital, got rid of Sigrid Kruse and her homeopathic approach, and there is no homeopathy anymore in this area. And this is a great thing, I think, and positive. This is a bulletin from the German Center of Cancer Research, and they recommend us, Informationsnetzwerk Homöopathie, for giving good advice to cancer patients. But the empire strikes back, of course. Of course, anything that's going down there is money on the other side. We are taking away some money from quite a lot of people that earn their money with homeopathy, and what we recognize is increased advertising. They have more campaigns, and of course they have better funding than us, and we are not so good in putting articles and putting advertisements in newspapers and magazines. They had sponsored articles that looked like research articles or from journalists, but in fact were advertisements, and they attack us, of course. In the German Skeptics, the Informationsnetzwerk Homöopathie, and us as individuals, we are incompetent, sponsored by pharma, ignoring facts and whatever, and these are the more soft ones, and we get our fair share of hate mails. Well, not me so much, because I'm an engineer. They can deal me very easily. He doesn't know a thing about medicine, he doesn't know a thing about homeopathy, but Natalie receives quite a lot of that, and Iris 100 Mark and so on. And they publish, they get into a kind of defense mode. You see, this is a Bundesverband Patienten für Homöopathie. It's a German national association of patients in favor of homeopathy, and they disclose the facts that are quite easily to be Googled. They disclose who is behind us and who pays us. Oops. Oh, yeah. Sorry. And there are quite a lot of articles that deal with us, what we do, criticism between dogmatism and agenda and fulfilling a certain agenda, and so on and so on and so on. And here they started an activity that was, I think it's founded by the German Homeopathic Union, the manufacturer. Please, patients, write down your positive experience with homeopathy and file it and put it on our website. Mach auch du mit, join the crowd, do it as well. Matthiesen, he's a famous professor of anthroposophic medicine. He had a real article which was signed by hundreds of medical doctors and others in favor of homeopathy. And we already had some chaps who are writing books about us, and they think this is a thing that somebody takes the pains to write and publish books about us, even if it's in its own Verlag. If he publishes in print on demand or self-publishing, but still writing a book and compiling the material is some effort. But the biggest push forward was what we call the Hewert backfire effect. You know Hewert Arzneimittel, Hewert Pharmaceuticals is a small size producer of homeopathy, about 30 million euros of sales per year in Germany. And he is situated in an area which is covered by this newspaper, the Rheinpfalz, a very local, small newspaper. And they had an interview with Nathalie Grams, and there was a question. In short, are homeopathics effective? And she said, no, not exceeding placebo. That's all. And this didn't please Mr. Hewert. He had a cease and desist letter filed to her. She should refrain from saying homeopathy do not exceed the placebo. And for every one issue she would do it, she would have to pay a fine of 5,100 euros. Of course, Natalie did not sign this cease and desist letter, but brought it to the public. And you see Frankfurter Allgemeine, Focus, Handelsblatt, Medical Tribune, Spiegel Online, Süddeutsche Zeitung, all the major news channels in Germany covered it and put the blame on Hewert. How stupid can one be to try to suppress science by law enforcement? But the most impact had this guy here. This is Jan Böhmermann. He's a German comedian. Yes, we have comedians. And he spent 20 minutes of his show to dissemble homeopathy, and he did it thoroughly. And you see this counter on the down right corner, and for every time he said homeopathy is not effective beyond placebo, it counted at 5,100 euros more, and it ended up with about 100,000 euro. And he defined what homeopathy is. It's to dilute, to shake, and babble bullshit. That's about homeopathy. It was quite harsh, and this broadcast was brought in the general public, and it received about 2 million, 3 million views, and a lot of views on YouTube and so on. And we have to be very thankful to Mr. Hewert. We couldn't have gotten a better push forward in our quest to make known to the public what homeopathy really is. There's a lot more going on in Germany, and you see, we are a federal country, and we have 16 different states, and each state has a medical chamber. Only North Rhine-Westphalia has 2. So we have 17 medical chambers, and they started, and all these were ushering diplomas to medical doctors to be homeopaths. And the first one in Bremen, the smallest one, started in October 2019 to stop this practice, and they will not have any homeopathic training anymore. And 5 others up to now followed suit, so that 6 out of 17, more than 1/3 of the medical chambers, abolished homeopathy from their training courses. AVMF is you could say the scientific body of medicine in Germany. They recommended that from the Approbationsordnung, which is the regulation for licensing doctors, the homeopathy should be vanished, should be scraped away, and this would be the basis that homeopathy will no longer be taught in universities, on a university level. Many homeopathic societies have adopted a defensive position against us. They want to, their articles, because of the skeptic discussion, we have to publish this and that, and this is quite a good thing. And public TV stations bring now features on homeopathy which are truly skeptic, delighting to our hearts, and they call homeopathy what it really is, not a real medicine, just nonsense, and should vanish from the medical system. But a spoiler, there is a spoiler. The Bavarian government decided that they should spend 400,000 euros on a study if homeopathy can be of any help to reduce the deployment of antibiotics. And to make it worse, just last week they doubled the budget to 800,000 euro. And we will start a campaign on Twitter on what can be done in the health system with 800,000 euros. That is, for instance, pay more than 20 was ist Krankenschwester? Oh. To pay more than 20 nurses for 1 year. Okay, it's a lot of things that were going on areas that we didn't think possible. But the question is, how do we reach the people? How do we reach the real people that deploy homeopathy? And here we have the special website, Susanne Sheehan braucht keine Globuli, and this is what my wife, Susanne, is going to present to you.
So I am very pleased and proud to present to you our family sites. From the beginning, it was clear that we would like to spread information. We have the sites of the Information Network Homöopathie for anybody who is looking for information. And we have the Homeopathia online lexicon for people who want to get deeper into science. But you know, who does apply homeopathy, especially for children? These are young families, mothers, grandparents, and they just get recommended to take homeopathy. It's a kind of naturopathy, it's a kind of plant medicine, so soft and without danger, without any negative side effects that standard medicine may have on your children. And they believe that. And anytime we talk to them, we find out that they think homeopathy is a remedy made of plants. Like the publicity shows, you always see pictures with beautiful plants and flowers, and in TV you may have a publication with wonderful music, but that's not the truth. And we installed our websites especially for these families, and we know they are not looking for information, but we want them to stumble over us. So we wondered how to do it, and we found out we need a little ambassador, and that is little Susan. Susanne is German for little Susan, and she is our mascot and our ambassador for our pages. The articles of the website of the Information Network are on homeopathy only, but on our family side we also talk about other kinds of pseudomedicine, and we have a big focus on vaccination, because we see that together with homeopathy goes a refusement of vaccination, and that is really becoming dangerous. There are more and more homeopaths declaring that they can offer effective vaccinations. Susanne is not yet as famous as him, but we still work on that. The main mean we use is an extra website for the family site with only some frequently asked questions. If you click on them, you will get easily written information. What is homeopathy? Is homeopathy medicine? Is homeopathy phototherapy? No, it's not. If you click on them, you get a short text, really understandable for everybody. I just show you some examples of how we do the website. We want it to be friendly. We even want it sometimes to be funny. We want that people find us who are not looking for us, and we want them to stay with us. We want them to get interested in what we are doing and invite them to gather information on our websites. So very important for us is we only use friendly pictures if ever possible, because sometimes when you see really good articles on how important vaccinations are, the author takes a stock photo which is horrifying. And if you were not afraid of vaccinations before, you might be it after seeing those photos. So don't do that. This article is about Apis mellifica, and we explain, do you know of what your apis globally are made? They are made from bees. It's no wonder for her. There is a big industry living on homeopathy, and sometimes you even now find a toothpaste, because if your children use homeopathy, homeopaths say you can't use standard toothpaste because of the ethereal oils in them. So they sell them, but it's quackery, and it's just one thing. It's expensive and worth nothing. What I said is now really coming up, that the homeopaths are offering homeopathic vaccinations, which is a big problem. We are also concerned about many healers in Germany. You have many healers treating animals, pets. They have no education at all. You just can start healing pets, offering whatever you want, and homeopathy is always with them. So we inform about the placebo effect, we inform about placebo by proxy, and so on. You can find us on Twitter as well. We have on our website about 150 standard articles, and we are trying to post one thing at least every day on Twitter and on Facebook accounts. This is the Facebook site. And we are working with memes, because memes are attractive, they are short. You don't have much space to tell lots of information, but you can use and spread them, and we hope to catch the eyes with our memes. So this one is Homeopathy for Bellow, that's the name of Susan's dog. No, thanks. Other examples globally used when you caught a cold is, of course, after 7 days the cold is better, but was it the globally? Sometimes you can't stay friendly. If you are talking about pseudomedicine like MMS, you know it. It's difficult, but we still try to stay friendly and count on good information. Even for cats, that is no way to treat a friend if you give them homeopathy when they are really ill. And once again, vaccination, vaccination, vaccination. Protect your child, protect other children. Homeopathy for hay fever. It's a pity, for beautiful days could have been a better half. We change our means and the websites according to the season you have. This is Max, the brother of Susanne Sheehan. He's quite a good chemist already. He knows a lot. And each summer we face the problem that many advertisements recommend the little pharmacy to take with you along in the holidays, even into tropical countries. And they just have globally for DRO, for high fever, if the child has too much sun, and it's nonsense. Of course, we give better hints. And often you go to the pharmacy, especially if you are a young mother with a child who needs remedies. And they give you homeopathics without telling you that it's homeopathics. And we made a service card that you could load down from our website, put it into your purse, and lay it on the counter. And Susanne says, for me, it's real medicine or gummy bears, sweets. Dear doctor, dear pharmacist, I don't want any homeopathic or anthroposophic means. End of discussion. So what did we do? We had a billboard campaign last year with a big poster in 5 major German cities, Berlin, Hamburg, Munich, Cologne, Frankfurt, near places with a lot of traffic where people sit and spend some time and may get curious. So Susanne says homeopathy is no naturopathy. And even it has nothing to do with real medicine. Have we made you curious? And then we link to the sites. If you ask us what was the result, well, we do not sell anything. We get no money of it. We just can count the clicks on our website. And they were there, and they still are. So we know people read it. Also the other side. The first letter we saw on Twitter was from a homeopath. He was upset what we did. That's fine, we like that. And we also made up a little shop. Gifts are good for friendship. We have the service card I already introduced to you. We have tissues. Tissues are very important. Maybe for your own nose or for the nose of your child, but also to try the tears of the homeopaths and the pharmacists. We offer a variety of postcards and posters for waiting rooms, doctors. We have cups, of course. Everybody has cups, but we have very beautiful cups. And cups are very important for natural medicine. That's drink herbal tea when you are ill. We have stickers, we have clothing, we had bags, they are out now. And we had a summer campaign, which was quite a success. We had 250 beach balls produced. But soon after it, we had another 250 beach balls because they were a big success. We said, we have globalists on our own. And like the real ones, there's nothing in it. But with ours, you can move your body. That is far more effective than take sugar pills. And also have your children playing and moving, take them out. But the beach balls not only ended in pools. What makes us happy is that many doctors send us a photograph. They have the globally in their shelf, in their office. And maybe you can see it here. This is Johnny Skeleton, a physiotherapist, who says, I'm so grateful to you, because people come and just want to swallow something, but they are too lazy to move. So we can easily explain how important it is and how effective if you move your body. We're told that one special ball has found his place in Prague now with the Prague Skeptics. Thank you very much for that. And then Christmas time came, and we said, nearly every mother has remaining globally anywhere in a cupboard. Even if she doesn't use it, they are there. You can throw them away, you can make an overdose campaign, but it's very expensive sugar if you count on what you pay for nothing. And we said, don't throw them away, bake them away. Make cookies and let us have the photographs. And this is a variety of what we received. And we had a big fun with that campaign. Many people say, if we take away the globally from the young families, this would make them give dangerous medicine, antibiotics. That's nonsense. That is not what we say. We just inform on homeopathy, on the placebo effect, the placebo by proxy effect. And we say, don't teach your children that they are to swallow or to suck any kind of medicine only because they fell down, because they got a ball on their face, because they are afraid to go to school. Don't teach them. If the child is ill, it deserves real effective medicine, which homeopathy is not. And if it's not ill, it doesn't need anything at all. Not ill, no pill. Take a rest, drink your tea, and just wait. And if it's not getting better, go to see a real doctor and get effective medicine. And we are very pleased that we find people who assist us, maybe with a little YouTube, with a video. Homeopathy is no good medicine. Homeopathy is no medicine. Homeopathy is nothing. The reaction of our readers and support is so nice, because there are several private men who make themselves a birthday present in sponsoring a billboard publication of us, or a poster, or advertisements in their local magazines. We still have a long way to go. We are in the media, but we never succeeded so far to get into a parent's journal. A big problems are the midwives. Unfortunately, many midwives bring the globally to the young mother, to the baby, from the beginning, without asking, without telling the mother what they are giving them. And another problem is to bring more staff of pharmacies on our side, because they are so uncritic, and we still wonder, how can you study chemists on one side and sell homeopathy on the other? But especially the assistants are strongly, the producers of homeopathy, they invite them for training, also expensive trainings from several days with food and so on, and tell them what they are to tell in the pharmacy. And we don't have the solution yet how to achieve it, but we have many letters of people working in pharmacies. And one of our most read articles on the website is written by a midwife, so we are sure we will achieve it. May take some time, but we are positive. Thank you. Děkuji.
So now we have to stay together for just the final slide, because I have to speak into her microphone somehow. Hopefully you can make it. We will have to go a little bit out of the light. Okay. So, well, yes, we still may have to go some way, but if anybody of us would have set the target, what we have to achieve today, 4 years ago, we would have thought him crazy. This is near to impossible what we have achieved, and if you know how many people we are, it is still more impossible. So just some key factors that we think were essential for our success, or we call it success, feel it's very successful. First of all, for the people that you are, that come together, very important, do agree on action, do not discuss opinion. If you discuss opinion, you will find yourself arguing and spending a lot of time for the last 5% of disagreement to make them go away, and which is essentially unimportant to decide if you want to do a billboard action or something like this. Second, oops, the other one. I'm a mechanical engineer, not electrical engineer. So the second is, try, whatever you do, try to get immediate media coverage. Do not go for the big international recognized magazines. Go to their local newspaper. And if it's interesting enough, the big media will join forces. Go for make the local newspaper interested in what you do. And this is, I do not know how you will do it, but you are happy if you can you make interesting people join into your group, where the media find the person interesting, and the message that she brings is on top of it, you know. And quite a few people, you need quite a few people working in the background, doing a lot of work, just like some names that I mentioned in my presentation. And of course, we have to offer sound information based on facts, and on facts alone, no superstition. And address the possible patients in plain language, in language they will understand, and give information on what they can do and how they can achieve it. And, well, we will carry on, and if you here in Czechia want to do the same, we are willing to offer some of our experience on how to proceed. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much for your talk and for coming all the way here to deliver it for us. Of course, media coverage is important, but I think one of the things that we can learn a lot about is how you reach doctors and the posters that you provide for doctors to put up in their offices. That's something we have not done yet, and something we can definitely start doing. Any questions? If you don't feel comfortable asking in English, you can ask in Czech. I will happily translate.
What's the future of the challenge?
Mm-hmm.
What is future after 30th April?
Well, I do not know as yet. The sponsor who is in the backup to finance those 50,000 euros, up to now we have a contract that will end on April 30th, and we will still have to decide on how to carry on and how to go on. I don't know yet.
Any other questions? So I'll ask, so what is your communication with the parents? How do they react to the website?
What we see is that we get many questions written to us on the social media or directly to our email address. And of course, you know Facebook groups, and homeopathy-affine Facebook groups are not easy to enter. You have no chance. But we try to keep on informing in a really friendly way, delivering facts, and it's for the readers behind the first row that read it. They may not comment, but we hope that we can set a trap that will initiate a thinking and to get them back on our pages. All we can do is inform. We cannot forbid anything. We only offer information and leave the choice to the patient.
Yeah, forbidding something makes it more attractive anyway.
Yeah.
So, any other questions? Well, thank you very much. Thank you for coming, like I said. Thank you for your talk and for sharing all your know-how with us, because the know-how is the most important thing. All the information is always, other information is Googleable. So, and I invite you all to join us for a beer. We're going to be going to the pub around the corner, so if you have any questions we wanted to ask in person, you can do that there. So next month we will have Linus Wolf. He will be speaking about the universe as a hologram. So we look forward to seeing you there too.